All right, everybody, welcome back. This is the Meet the Candidates event. Today it's official. Noon today, we know who's really in and who's really out. There were no surprises at noon, but I think you'll find there were a few surprises earlier this week. As you know, and we probably all talked about, there were actually more people that were elected without opposition today than or actually have to run for office, which is kind of odd. But we've got a number of them here today. We're going to let them, the ones that are in the room, say thank you to everybody. We're just going to get right into it. We're going to try to keep the people that don't have opposition to just say thank you and get off the stage. And the ones that do, we're going to try to give as much time. Instead of 2 minutes, we're going to go for a full 3 minutes, which, you know, getting crazy. But we still got to keep this train on the tracks. So without further ado, is there anybody from Mosquito Control here? Oh, no, I'm sorry, Keys Energy. I didn't see any Keys Energy. Oh, Mona. Okay, Mona, your start. Come on up, Mona.
He said, say thank you. So I'm saying thank you to my community, and then I'm going to run off. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Okay, now that is how to do it. So, Steve Wells and Robert Barrios. All right, moving along. Mosquito Control, Phil, I know you're here. Come on up, Phil.
Todd, just want to say thank you very much for all the support this community has given to me and to Mosquito Control in the past. And we'll do our best to continue to do good things for Mosquito Control in this community. And one of the first things I learned as a good businessman, when you get the order, sit down. So that's what I'll do. Thank you very much.
Get ready to come stand next to him. I know Tom McDonald, he was up the keys, cannot make it. We are live streaming. If anybody's watching, if they could text me or Derek or somebody else, just let us know that it's working. We'll move right into, I know we have a candidate here for U.S. House of Representatives. And here's a mea culpa for Hometown. We originally did an ad for this event, and it prominently showed July 17th. And Congressman Jimenez's aide sent that to me a few minutes ago. And we've been friends for a long time, and I said she was crazy, and she sent me that. I said, well, it's my fault. So, Congressman is not here, nor I have to give latitude to any other candidate that has this for July 17th, so that is our fault. But we do have Michelle's here, so. Yeah, I'll get to you, Michelle, don't worry. We do have K.W. Miller, he's running for U.S. House of Representatives. I want to ask him to come up. Yeah, he gets 3 minutes, so K.W., come up.
Because we had two that just kind of slid by. Okay, all right. Good evening. My name is K.W. Miller. I'm running for House of Representatives District 28. For those of you that live here and have been here for a while, that used to be District 26. Same geographic territory. It's essentially the same footprint. We just renamed it 28. I'm also the chairman of the America First Political Committee. That committee is based on one principle and one principle alone: to get conservative Republicans elected across America. We are focused on getting conservatives elected in all walks of life, in all offices, from Senate, House, and State and House, and all the way down into the city councils. I grew up in South Florida, primarily in Marathon, with congressional representatives who are basically voting against the Constitution. I won't go into all of the voting records here. I'm going to encourage everybody in this room to reach out to us. Okay, our doors are open. We're going to open up a congressional office in Marathon. We'll have an office probably up in the Homestead, in between Homestead and West Kendall. We're still looking for the location. But come to us, reach out to us. I know people have questions, and I've heard a lot of noise in the background because people don't know all the answers. So what I would encourage everyone to do is be a good citizen and say, okay, I want to talk to KW about the questions I have. We want to talk about what our concerns are. So let's talk about the 3 areas that I'm focused on for our district. Number 1, Clearly, we have a housing issue, and it's not just going to be resolved by local city government. It's going to have to be a public-private partnership with federal dollars, private investors, and we're going to have local representatives working at the city council and the county commission level. Number two, I spent 30 plus years in the energy and infrastructure sector. I started my career on Wall Street in 1988, 88, 89, and then I moved over to energy, and I spent pretty much the rest of my career in energy and infrastructure, and I still do advisory work, but I'm semi-retired now. And I know what to do to get this fuel problem fixed. We cannot survive on $5, $6, $7 gas because it's affecting how you drive here today. It's affecting every piece of food that you buy because diesel fuel is how your food gets to the store. Okay, and I don't want to spook you, but natural gas prices have gone up 200% in this country. What does that mean for you? That means in your utility bill in the next few months, you're going to see some stark increases because energy prices are going up. Thank you. So please reach out to us. You have a choice. Primary elections are for a reason. I'm saying this now as America First Chairman. We basically run primaries to select all of the right candidates across the country. Thank you very much.
All right. I'm going to go to County Commission. We have three candidates, Jim Scholl, David Rice, and Michelle Coldiron. I know that Jim and Michelle are here. We're also being told the sound is a little weak, so everybody enunciate, speak into the mic, and we'll try to pick it up on there. So keep Michelle from yelling at me. Michelle, come on up.
Hello, everybody, and I'm so glad you all bought tickets to come to hear all about my life. It should only take a few hours. Anyway, I just wanted to say thank you all so very much. It is a humbling experience to serve this community, and I'm super thrilled to continue to do it. Thank you.
Oh, great. I just heard David Rice is here. David, where are you? Come on up.
He doesn't recognize me after 40 years. Let me say what I was told to say, thank you, but there's one person that I want to give a very special thank you. Probably out there somewhere is somebody that really thought about signing up to run against me, but didn't. I really want to thank that person. Thank you all so much, and I plan to do the best I can continue to do it.
This is going well so far. Let's see if Jim Scholl can keep it going. Jim, where are you? Come on up, Jim. His first election, he didn't even have to run.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. I want to thank Todd and the whole Hometown PAC organization because they do a great job at having the opportunity for any of us that contemplated running or thinking about running to introduce ourselves. But I want to say thank you to everyone. I got a lot of encouragement and maybe a little shoving a while back to apply for the appointment for the vacancy. And of course, as David said, it's nice to have gotten through the qualification with nobody else that signed up to run. So, I mean, I love government, and I'm very pleased to be on the dais with the other four county commissioners. And I'm very impressed with the staff. Unbelievable group of professionals working for the county, and I look forward to serving for the next 2 years. So thank you all. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Jim. Moving into, I know, Representative. Commissioner Holly Rashine is out of town. She could not make it. We will see her at the debates against her opponent, Jose Peixoto. Jose, come on up. You have 3 minutes.
Hello, it's 3 minutes. She don't care about us, she's not here. My name is Jose Peixoto. I'm running for the County Commission District 5. The reason I'm here, I'm pretty sure is the same you guys are here. I'm a very concerned citizen of this great county, great nation. I'm from Brazil original, but I want to give it back to my community, what this great nation gave it to me. And that's why I want to be there. I want to make a difference. I want to bring a little difference. In the election in August, in the primary, you have two candidates. You have Jose Peixoto. The guy lives in Key Largo for over 30 years. He married the same woman for over 30 years. With her hard work and my hard work, we were able to raise 3 wonderful kids in Key Largo, from the public schools to the university. 2 of them already, and the 3rd one goes in the UCF in August. But it's a lot of work and it's very hard. And I know the daily problems we have in the Keys. The traffic, the affordable housing, the money sheriff have to have more people work in his department. He's doing a great job, but he needs more. And the other day I was on the ocean fishing, and I see somebody else is stealing some fisherman traps. And I called the FWC, and the lady asked me, where your location? I give the location. She said, oh, in about an hour and a half we'll be there. In an hour and a half, those lobsters or crabs will be cooking Hialeah somewhere. It's too late. We need the sheriff to have a full marine unit. We have to provide him money for that. We have more security in our schools. We have to look at the deterioration of our canals. We have to look at the traffic in the highway. TTC spent $50 million a year to bring more tourists to us. We already sold out. We don't need no more tourists. We don't need no more development. We need to take care of what we have. And in August, you have 2 options. The real man like me and the career politicians. I'm pretty sure you all think or say before we should have a term limit for the politicians. We don't have to wait to change the Constitution. Don't vote them over and over and over. How we expect to have a different results if you put the same people there? My opponent say in the radio a few days ago she had 3 jobs. You believe in that? I don't. Vote for the real people, for the working people. Thank you very much, Hometown, to put this beautiful event they do at every election cycle. Thank you all to come over and listen to us. God bless you all. God bless the United States of America.
Nice job, Jose. All right, next we're going to switch gears a little bit and bring up Misha from the Key West Botanical Garden. And before you go, what the hell? There's actually a referendum that's going to be on the Key West, it's going to be on the next ballot. And it's to, well, I'll let Misha tell you what it's for. And as a disclaimer, I'm not biased, but I used to be the chairman of the Botanical Garden. So.
I told him if he didn't bring that up, I was. Good evening, everyone. I really love the fact that this community gets involved, and please vote. That's what I'm talking about. My name is Misha McRae. I'm the executive director at the Key West Botanical Garden. I am a 26-year resident of the Key West. I'm a 26-year resident of Key West, of which 25 of those years have been dedicated actively to the Key West Botanical Garden. Wanting to give back to this great city that I fell in love with way back in the 90s, never believing I'd ever be in the political realm. I find myself willing to do what is necessary to protect this very special jewel of the Florida Keys. I stand before you to request your support and present reasoning to vote yes for the ordinance to allow long-term lease that is put on this August ballot. A few statistics that you need to know and reasonings why. The garden was designated as a protected wildlife habitat for public use since before its opening in 1936, where it transitioned from a 55-acre attraction to 7.8 acres as early as the 1990s. That makes us the keepers of the trees for 86 years. And we want to continue that for another 99. Our mission to preserve, develop, expand, and maintain the historic Key West Tropical Forest and Botanical Garden as an arboretum, botanical garden, cultural heritage museum, and wildlife refuge, as well as an education center showcasing the historical significance of the flora and fauna of the Keys, Cuba, and the Caribbean has remained on course. It remains the longest continuously running attraction in Key West and is the only frost-free tropical forest in the continental United States. We've been identified as one of only 25 locations in the world known for its biodiversity, that's the most amount of life in one small area, and located in one of Florida's 5 areas of critical concern. We are one of only 3 sites in the Florida Keys that has fresh water, but we are the only site that has fresh, sweet rainwater. Remember the good old Stock Island Pond? We got it. We maintain a collection of 531 native species of plants with over 90 on the federal and state threatened and endangered species list. We are a wildlife refuge with over 210 species of birds identified migrating through this garden twice a year and 39 species of butterflies. In 2017, the society was reduced to a 10-year lease, which has reduced us in everything. We need a longer lease to facilitate the ability to create long-term plans, to secure ongoing grants and funding to bring those to fruition. Every great city has a great botanical garden. We have the Key West Tropical Forest and Botanical Garden.
And just to be clear, Misha is the executive director of Botanical Garden, and this is just like John Dick's going to talk about the school board referendum. This is more educational than anything. When we do the debates, if somebody really doesn't want to do the referendum, we could bring them up too, but this was more informational. So, moving along. County Judge. Al Kelly and Jason Smith for a County Judge. Let's bring Al up first. Where are you, Al? 3 minutes. And the judges really go at it hard, you know, they trash each other, so let's see what happens.
Thank you, Todd. Thank you to Hometown PAC for hosting this event. It's a wonderful event for us to have a chance to talk to the people. The question the voters have in this race is what's the difference between me and my opponent? And I think the main answer is breadth of experience. And I believe that my experience is unmatched in this election. In criminal law, I'm the only candidate that has tried cases as both the prosecuting attorney and the defense attorney. I represent witnesses and victims in criminal cases, and I've served on the state and federal grand juries. This gives me experience in all aspects of a criminal case, which opens up possibilities as a judge. In civil law, I'm the only candidate that has 32 years of civil practice in the county court. I've represented hundreds of cases over my career. I've represented landlords and tenants in eviction cases. I've represented, well, done more small claim trials than I can recall. And this is something that is important to me. I've actually written books on landlord-tenant law and small claims court because these are county court issues. I'm also the only candidate that's a Supreme Court certified mediator. This means I can look at all aspects of the case and help people resolve the case before they go to trial. I also serve as a magistrate for a court system, so the judges can appoint me to hear cases on their behalf. And in the last 6 years, I've presided over dozens of trials for Judge Becker, Judge Fowler, and Judge Koenig. This experience as a trial lawyer with both criminal and civil experience, worked as a magistrate and a mediator, makes me uniquely qualified for this position. But my experience isn't just my work as an attorney. I'm also the only candidate been recognized by the Florida Bar and Legal Services for their pro bono work in this community. I received the Florida Bar President's Award for pro bono work, and my efforts helping our community after Hurricane Irma was featured in an article in the Florida Bar's monthly magazine. I currently serve as one of the founding members of our court's pro bono committee, helping to provide legal services to those who can't afford it. And I'm the vice chairman of our court's professionalism panel. This panel, made of judges and lawyers, works to improve the ethical and professional behavior of all lawyers in Monroe County. I invite you to look me up on lawyers.com, the top legal review website, and read what lawyers and judges have said about me, and see why I'm also the only candidate to receive the highest rating possible for an attorney, a rating that's only given to 10% of the attorneys around the country. I also invite you to look at my website, alkellyforjudge.com, for more information on my history, my background, my experience, and ask you to vote for me. On August 23rd, sorry, Albert Kelly for County Court Judge. Thank you.
Thank you, Al. Jason? Come on up. 3 minutes.
Thanks, Hometown, for allowing us to come and speak to the folks. My name is Jason Smith. I am your candidate for Monroe County Judge, Group 1. I'm ready from day one to take the bench with fairness and impartiality. I have a passion for justice and a passion for our court system that aspires to justice. I will take as Todd mentioned, we might go at it a little bit. I guess we will, because I have prosecuted cases. I had the child support enforcement contract for the Florida Keys, which is a quasi-magistrate position. I've also tried jury trials, over 100 jury trials. I've tried cases in federal court. I've tried cases in state court. And as I said, I did have some prosecutorial experience. What this experience has done is allow me to understand human motivations, human emotions. I've dealt with people, and I'm statutorily qualified to handle death penalty trials. I've sat with people, I've sat with their families, flesh and blood people who have looked at losing their life, losing their property, and losing their rights. What we do in this business, and many of you here have practiced criminal defense and civil defense, what we're doing in our job, in our work, and as a judge, is drawing the most important lines that a society can draw. The line between liberty and punishment, between taking the rights and the property of others. And if we do that without the procedures and rituals that we've set up regarding credibility and reliability, as well as the dignity of the individual, that we've all lost. As I said, I've represented, I've worked for legal services. I've had 2 stints at the public defender's office. I was in private practice for 20 years. I have a diverse, wide experience. There's no other candidate in this race that has the breadth of the actual trial experience that I have. I have also, I would ask you to check out my website. I humbly ask for your vote on August 23rd. Check out my website, www.jasonforjudge.com, and also my Facebook page, which is Jason R. Smith for Monroe County Judge. I would also say, change happens inside and outside of the system, and we can make this change together. But what I would also ask you, or the one thing that I want to say, is that while I've been campaigning up and down the Keys, what I've found from speaking to attorneys and from speaking to the parties, they want their cases dealt with in an orderly and fair manner, but also in an efficient manner without wasting time. And I'm ready, willing, and able to do that. I'm in court just about every week. And thank you so much. And please vote Jason for judge.
Thank you, Jason. We're going to move on to the Key West Mayor's race. And I got a call this morning from Terry Johnston, and she is 9 days into COVID. And I asked if I even offered to call in. She said she just couldn't. But we do have her opponent, Margaret Romero. We have no. As Margaret's making her way up, I want to emphasize, everybody, we are having sound issues. And even though we're going to blast everybody here, we've got to speak into the mic and speak to the mic. Anytime you move your head, it doesn't talk. So, go ahead.
I'm running for mayor because I care. I want to restore our community values and principles in Key West. You may have moved here a year or 30 years ago, but you had a reason for moving and staying here. That was because of our community. Maybe you were born here and stayed or came back because you love our community. Maybe you invested here. You really put your money where your mouth is, and you would not have if you didn't like our community. Maybe you're here seasonally, but you keep coming back because you fell in love with our community. And I'm not forgetting our military families. You may have requested this duty station or had it assigned. Many come back here because of the community. I thank you for your service, military families. You do so much unheralded volunteering. Your spouses and family members are part of our community workforce, a very vital part. Our businesses would be hurting even more without you. You are also important. No matter your reason for being here, you are. So let's make it better together. I want to restore community trust, respect for each other, acceptance, and participation in things which are good for the whole community and harmonious in city government. This doesn't mean people will always agree, but it starts a discussion to build a better mousetrap. In the past few years, we have seen a decline and deterioration of the community atmosphere for which we came and for which we have stayed. Rebuilding of trust will help restore confidence in actions. Competence, accountability, transparency, and good communication will help rebuild assurance that things are being done in the interest of our community, not for special groups, social cliques, or to appease some faction. This is not about finding fault, but exploring and finding remedies. We have to have comprehensive processes for the attainment of mutual expectations, and that includes conflict resolution. Rebuilding of trust is never easy, but I'm up to the task and will lead the way by my actions, not just my words. I'm committed to this community and have consistently spoken through the years with fact-based knowledge, not emotion-based sound bites, mostly as an involved citizen and then commissioner. I have the knowledge and experience to serve with integrity, professionalism, excellence, respect, and regard. You'll hear people say that we need to keep moving forward. Sometimes just moving forward leads one over a cliff and down a ravine. Maybe we need to pause, evaluate, and find a balance for the greater good of the whole community. Please work with me in restoring the community to which we came and for which we stay by voting for me in the August election. I will appreciate your support and your vote. And I have just one final thing to say. Please come out and support the Police Athletic League. Next Saturday, Bayview Park, 10 to 3. It is our 5th year with Mango Fest, and it helps support our kids and cops for this community. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Margaret. You know, over the years, have you ever noticed that when people are overtime or at time, I come stand next to them? For those of you that haven't done this, that means that you're out of time. But also it allows me to look over their shoulder just so I can see where they are on their thing. So usually if they only have a couple lines, I'll let them go. So, all right, so let's move into Key West City Commission, which went from completely dull and boring to very exciting this week. Now, to lead us off, we're going to go with Mr. Excitement, Sam Kaufman, who is here tonight. He's going to just speak very briefly. Here he comes. All right, Sam.
First of all, I want to welcome all of you to Key West. It is a privilege and honor to be the Vice Mayor of the City of Key West. It's so wonderful to see many of you who are not from Key West, from the Upper Keys. We welcome you. We'd like to see you here. I want to thank all of my supporters, all those of you from District 2. There's 2 of us in the room, by the way, from District 2. I know each and every one. But really, I want to thank one specific person in particular, my wife, Julia. She allows me to do this. So please, if you see Julia and you know her, please thank her. Because without her, I couldn't do this, and she's allowing me to do this. Now, let's get to work. We have the worst housing crisis in the history of our area. We have an environmental crisis as well. We got to get to work. Let's do it. Good luck to the candidates.
All right. Mary Lou Hoover she was going to be here. She had a personal emergency, I think a sickness in the family she called, so she did send her regards to everybody. But moving into an open Key West Commission seat, Greg Davila decided he did not want to run again. So within 1 week, we went from no candidates to 4 candidates. And we're going to start right off in how they came down. Again, I think every one of these people is a newcomer. So be gentle and patient. And we're going to see them again. We're going to hear these names over and over. Let's start with Stephen Nikila. Stephen, come on up. All right, Stephen, 3 minutes. Talk right into the mic.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Stephen Nikela. I'm a lifelong resident of the Florida Keys, business owner, and my latest occupation, a father. I grew up in Alamorada and attended Coral Shores High School, graduated, went to FIU, and where most people move north, I moved south to Key West. I call Key West my home, look forward to building my family here and my future, and a little bit about me. On the business side, I am a Wendy's franchisee. We have 9 stores from Florida to Virginia. We opened our last store last week. The Island Grill in Alamorada, Dairy Queen in Tavernier, and the movie theater. On the political side, I've served on political executive committees at the local, state, and national level. I'm also on the Government and Legislative Review Board for the Key West Chamber of Commerce. I'm running because, number one, I'm passionate about politics and I would like to help. I see opportunities in our community. Number one is the housing crisis. As you know, Key West is facing a dire housing crunch and businesses are looking for workers. People are being priced out of our market, moving further and further north, eventually out of the Keys into greener pastures. Our biggest demographic here in Key West is age 25 to 36. If we're expecting these people to stay in our communities, build families here, and work in our communities, we need to do what we can to make housing more affordable. A lot of these factors are external, but we do have things in our power as a community to impact that. A couple of ideas would be to increase the zoning density in Key West, and legalize multifamily homes and accessory dwellings, and look at multi-use residential commercial. We have the empty Searstown lot in Kmart. We can do things that will impact increasing supply and lowering traffic. Another opportunity is balancing the city budget, making sure we're being fiscally responsible, and looking forward to making sure our taxes stay low, our property taxes, which when property taxes increase, the renters are the ones that bear that burden. As a business owner or someone who's fiscally responsible, I'd like to see our taxes stay responsible while emphasizing public services such as infrastructure and emergency services. Lastly, I want to see Key West as a vibrant business community. When the city of Key West makes doing business here predictable and invites business owners to stay in Key West and work in Key West, we have more jobs, more opportunity, and the commercial sector takes the burden of taxes, which doesn't go on the private sector. I look forward to meeting you all over the coming months, in person and otherwise. I'm already talking with city officials to see how we can put this plan into place to make Key West better, and I look forward to hearing from you all, and I invite you to support me this August 23rd. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Stephen. Next up, Lisette Cuervo Carvey. Garrett. Come on up, Lisette. You can speak right into the mic.
Good evening, everyone. Lisette Cuervo Carey, running for District 4 City Commission. A little bit about my experience. Have a lot of experience in specific city governance. I worked as the executive aide. Louder, sorry. I worked as the executive aide to the mayor and city commissioners for 4 years. I worked in the clerk's office for 3 years at the city. And one of the things that I noticed, or I feel was most important, is I watched our city leaders represent the people of this town. And I think that is the most important aspect of being a commissioner. You have to do the will of your people, not just your own personal ideas and your personal goals. I was born and raised here in Key West. We go back about 5 generations on one side, several generations on the other as well. I am a mother. I currently work for the Housing Authority, so I am getting a crash course in affordable housing, and I'm learning everything from the inside. And we are doing some wonderful things to move forward. The housing has been an issue here, affordable housing, for over 40 years. But we are making strides. But I'm going to talk a little bit more about myself. I did make this decision very quickly. Gregory was doing a wonderful job, and I got a call on Monday saying he was no longer going to run. And this community means so much to me. I have lived in this district for over 30 years. Spent 20 years on one side of the canal and then 15 years on the other side, and now I'm raising my own family there. My children ride their bikes. I know the families that are there, and to me the most important thing is to try to make this place livable. The families that are here, take care of them and make sure that they can stay here, because without a workforce, without teachers, without police officers, it's going to be real tough to have the beautiful island that we do. The culture is important to me. People come here from all corners of the world because because it's awesome. And why would we want to change that? The integrity of this island, the history that's here, we need to keep that going so that people understand just how wonderful it's always been. So my phone number is 305-797-6800. I am always available, and any questions that anybody has, I am reachable. I'm going to keep it real short, and thank you so much for your time.
Next up. You're off. Okay. Hello.
It's over.
Any better? We're running out of time. Quick technical. All right, moving right along. This might actually work better. Ryan Barwick, or Barwick, well, he'll give us the correct pronunciation, I'm sorry. But come on, Ryan. It'll work this.
I was going to say, I can probably speak without it.
Well, no, we won't be on the, we're doing the video and it has to be amplified.
First timer here, be gentle.
From all corners of the world because it's awesome. And why would we want to change that? The integrity of this island, the history that's here, we need to keep that going so that people understand just how wonderful it's always been. So my phone number is 305-797-6800. I am always available, and any questions that anybody has, I am reachable. I'm going to keep it real short, and thank you so much for your time.
Next up. You're off. Okay. Hello.
It's over.
Any better? We're running out of time. Quick technical. All right, moving right along. This might actually work better. Ryan Barwick, or Barwick, well, he'll give us the correct pronunciation, I'm sorry. But come on, Ryan. It'll work this.
I was going to say, I can probably speak without it.
Well, no, we won't be on the, we're doing the video and it has to be amplified.
First timer here, be gentle.
There's the mic.
Oh, yeah, wow. Hi, everybody. My name is Ryan Barwick. I'm running for City Commissioner, District 4. A little bit about me. Born and raised in Merritt Island, Florida. Finished my master's at University of Florida, and a buddy of mine called me, said, what about Key West? I said, why not? And here we are 12 years later. I moved down here, worked my way up in the hospitality industry, and went from bar backing at Margaritaville for 2 weeks to bartending at Rick's for 6 years full time to now working for Southern Glazers Wine and Spirits as a sales consultant. I met my wife down here at the Tree Bar while I was working. We bought our house on 2914 Flatwood 3 years ago and have made this our forever home. Plan on raising a family here. I love this island. When I moved here, it embraced me. I've seen it chew people up and spit people out, and it decided to make me one of its own. I love everything about this community and what this island represents, from one human family to come as you are, to absolutely zero judgments in what you believe in. Let's all be together and have fun on this 4x2 mile island. The reason I am running is I want to help. I want to keep old Key West and merge it with new Key West. I want to embrace change
and keep part of the magic that this island brought all of us down to and has kept us here for all these years. I want my children and my friends' children to enjoy that same magic. So I'll keep this short and sweet. I know we got other people, and I'm always available, and I would humbly ask for your vote. And if you need me, I'm here. So thank you, and next up, here you go, Todd.
Thank you, Ryan. And Lisette, you broke the mic, but the good thing is I'm being told online that it's much better with this. So we're gonna keep moving. Kim Highsmith.
This is slightly more nerve-wracking than when I was practicing in front of my dogs this afternoon, so I'm a little nervous. Hi, I'm Kim Highsmith, and I get around. For more than 15 years, I've been part of the fabric of our community, and I do underscore the word community. I'm running for City Commission District 4 because I love this city, I love my neighborhood, and I want to advocate for you, my neighbors, to bring much needed resources and attention to the needs of our residential neighborhoods. When I first moved to Key West, I volunteered at the Tropic. I fell in love with the music scene and local theater. I've served on the Citizens Editorial Board, the Board of Hometown, and I graduated from the excellent Key West Ambassadors Academy. When I first moved to Key West, during all that time, I worked as a security clearance investigator. So I may have shown up on your door unexpectedly or at your place of business to interview you about someone who needed a security clearance. Sometimes I worked part-time at wine bars because I love a good glass of wine. And that was very fortuitous though, because that's how I met my husband, Bobby Highsmith, and I went on to run the successful school board campaign. In my pre-Key West life, I grew up in Broward County. I graduated from University of South Florida and had careers as a book, movie, and event publicist, while also freelance writing for the South Florida Sun Sentinel and the NBA on TNT website, among many other publications. The beauty of getting around is that you know people, you're involved in different aspects of the community, and so not only can I talk to anyone, but I listen to everyone, whether we disagree or not. Hell, I'm a Democrat married to a conk Republican, so I am well-versed in reaching across the aisle and the art of compromise. Now, our city is beautiful. We have a state-of-the-art city hall. We've got a beautiful water park downtown. We've got a plan for the beautification of Duval Street, which I am all for. We have safer, cleaner ships, which is amazing. Now, I think it's time for safer, cleaner sidewalks. City money should also be spent on TLC for our residential neighborhoods. I will advocate for a better quality of life for you, my neighbors. I will advocate for sidewalks, bike paths, and green spaces, and for less potholes in our residential neighborhoods. I will advocate to better regulate the growing number of illegal vacation rentals which are consuming our desperately needed housing stock. I'm asking you to vote for me for City Commission District 4, and please join me on Tuesday, June 28th at 5 o'clock at Sally O'Brien's, which is a former Shanachie, for my campaign kickoff party. I'm out of time, but I'm Kim Highsmith, and I look forward to seeing you around.
Of all people, Kim, you know why you're standing. All right. So that is a four-way city commission race. We haven't had that in a while. Moving down to school board. John Dick was able to win re-election without an opponent, and John's gonna say thank you and then briefly talk about the upcoming referendum. John?
Thank you, Todd, and thank you, everybody. And don't worry, I don't have any papers, so you don't have to look over my shoulder. So anyway, we're going to have the school board referendum. It'll be on the ballot in August. And what that is over the years, I think this goes back, we've probably passed it 3 or 4 times already. We used to be able to charge on the millage for capital. The state would allow us, at some years they would allow you to go 1.5 mils, and even there was a couple of years I think they allowed you to go to 2 mils. But Monroe County School District historically only charged 1 mil. That's all they ever charged, it was 1 mil. So what we did is we asked the voters, we needed more money in our general account, and we asked the voters, for us as a school board, we're not allowed to just change your tax bill, we have to ask you if we can change your tax bill. And so we asked you, would you allow us to take a 1/2 mil and put it into the operating account, and we would lower the capital millage from a full mil to a 1/2 mil? And overwhelmingly, you have always agreed to it. And we have to do it every 4 years, and we're going to do it, we're up to do it now. The other thing that we added on a couple of years ago, when the state came to us and said we needed to have a policeman in every school, and that's including the charter schools. So, of course, they said, we want you to have a policeman in all the schools, and Rick, is he still here? Rick said his policemen had to get paid, and I don't know why he wanted to pay them, but, so the state didn't give us any money to pay them, and I said, Rick, well, we can't pay him, and he said, well, you weren't going to get the policeman then, so we came, because again, if we took it out of our general account, it would have gone to taking it out of the teacher salaries. So we asked the voters, could we go up to 0.0625 is what we said we might go to. We've never gone that far, we've gone to 0.05. So we have to add that to this one because we're only allowed to do 1 referendum at a time, so we had to add the 2 together. So we're going to ask you, at this time, we probably will ask you for 0.55. The 0.5, the biggest part of it is, you know, it's not really an increase because we lowered the other one, and then adding the other 5 is so Rick's policemen get paid, and the City of Key West policemen too, because we use some of them. I don't have anything, so don't look over my shoulder. Thank you, everybody, and please vote for the referendum, otherwise we'll lose all of our teachers.
Suck all the momentum we got going on. Thank you, John, and congratulations. All right, we have 2 school board races. One, we have an incumbent, one of the few incumbents facing opposition in this election, but Sue Wiltansky is going to face Alexandria Suarez. We'll bring Sue up first. Sue?
Told me that wouldn't happen. Sorry, I put myself back together, sorry. I'm Sue Wiltansky, I'm your District 5 school board member. Since I was elected, we have raised graduation rates, we have improved mental health services in our schools, and we have expanded our vocational programs. Our schools are good, but we can make them better. And that's why I'm running for re-election, and I need your vote on August 23rd. For almost a decade, I have been advocating against excessive standardized testing. If you have kids in our schools, you know they spend too much time preparing for and taking standardized tests. Our kids need more art, music, field trips, and physical activity. When we reduce the focus on testing, our kids will have more time to focus on the skills they need to be successful in their future, whether that means college or trade school or directly entering the workforce. In the next 4 years, the most critical thing will be retaining our excellent teachers. As a board, we have been creating programs to recruit new teachers, but we need to focus on retaining and respecting the teachers that we have. Our teachers need to be able to afford to live here, and they need to feel valued. I'm a retired pediatrician. My children have attended Monroe County schools since we moved here in 2008. My youngest will be a junior at Coral Shores next fall. I've been actively involved in their schools and our community for more than a decade. I'm not a politician. I am a public education advocate. In Monroe, we can have the kind of high-quality education that we want for our kids and that they need to be successful in life. We can do that if we work together and we focus on the kids. And that's what I've been doing for more than a decade and will continue to do as your District 5 school board member. Remember, school board races are nonpartisan and they're county-wide. So all voters, no matter where you live in the Keys, can vote for me on August 23rd. When you vote to re-elect me, Sue Oltansky, you're voting to keep a local mom who's engaged in our community and is a public education expert on our school board. I'm dedicated to focusing on good policies, not politics, and being a local voice for our Keys kids. I need your vote on August 23rd. Vote to re-elect me, Sue Oltansky.
All right, thank you, Sue. Her opponent will be Alexandria Suarez. Alexandria.
Thank you, Todd. Thank you, hometown. There's no greater asset than our children. I'm Alexandria Suarez, and that is why I am running for school board in the community where I live and work in the Upper Keys. So I have the credentials. I am the only candidate that is a former teacher. I taught over 10 years, and I had to leave the profession because I could not afford to remain in it. So I can tell you from firsthand experience that we need to make sure that we're not only looking at compensation for teachers, but we are also looking at what else can we do. My credentials include, in addition to being a former teacher, being a healthcare pharmaceutical rep. I couldn't afford to teach, needed to find how I was going to feed my 4 children at home, and I served the Keys for over 8 years across the entire Keys, every 3 weeks, all the way down to Key West and all the way back. And I was in the pediatric pulmonary team, so I also dealt with children in that capacity. And at 43, I decided that I should do more, and I got my law degree, and I have been serving as a prosecutor in the Upper Keys for the last few years. I live in Key Largo. I have been a member of this community for many years. I am Florida grown. I was here in Key Largo when I was a child. My dad had a home there, and I came back to it every opportunity I could. So I'm a mother of 6. I have 2 stepsons. Our youngest just graduated. I'm a grandma of 1, and it is very important to me that our children learn how to think, not what to think. Amen. Thank you. Something that was not mentioned is one of the reasons why students have done so well in the last few years, which the incumbent mentioned, is because parents now have a choice. Yes. That came from Tallahassee down to our districts. Parents deserve a voice. They have a right to the upbringing of their children. I believe in choice. I was a public school teacher. My children attended both public and private because every child is unique. And I should not be telling other parents what's right for their child. So I am running because I firmly believe that we need school board members that are going to do what's best for our children, not for what we want. There's no place in the classroom for partisan politics. And that's a reason why I am also running. I know because I was a teacher. So I'm going to ask for your vote August 23rd, Alexandria Suarez. Please vote for me and help me put our kids first again. Thank you.
Thank you, Alexandria. And we have another school board seat open, vacated by the husband of Kim Highsmith because he didn't want to run again. And I don't know how that all works, but. So, let's get right to that. First up, Darren Horan. Darren Horan.
If you stand up, I failed. All right, I'm gonna keep this short and sweet. My name is Darren Horan. I'm running for school board. First off, I would like to thank Bobby Highsmith. He has served honorably. So Bobby's out there. Thank you so much. You've done a wonderful job, and I couldn't think of a better predecessor, assuming I win. The reason I'm running is very simple. I have kids in school. I think that is completely a requisite for a school board candidate, especially in Monroe County. You have to have skin in the game. I'm a 6th generation conch. I was born and raised here in Key West. I'm a business owner, I'm an attorney, and I'm a product of the Monroe County school system. I'm proof that the Monroe County school system can raise successful students. I went to law school in Michigan. I have a business degree. I have a wonderful business partner, my father, David Paul Horan, who, once he retires, is going to be a very sad moment for me because it's been the honor of my life to serve beside him. Sitting next to him is my beautiful wife, who, as many of you know who are married, you cannot do this without the push of a strong person behind you. But the greatest honor of my life has been a father. As I mentioned, I have 3 beautiful girls. My oldest went through COVID as a senior in high school. It was a very difficult time for my family, as many of you can imagine. Watching someone who was looking forward to her senior year all of a sudden feel like the life had been sucked out of her because all the joy and all the expectations and all the parties that she was expecting her senior year were suddenly taken away from her. Watching my middle child struggle through, trying to be limited with discussions with her friends, limited to online courses. It was very tough. But again, I said it during the call to candidates, I want to thank our school board, because they didn't make national news, so that's a credit to them. They did a wonderful job, and I hope with your vote on August 23rd, I will continue to do a wonderful job they've done. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Darren. I was getting ready to stand up just to mess with you. All right, his opponent will be Gabriel Brown. Is it Gabriel or Gabriel? Gabriel Brown.
Hi everyone, thanks for coming. I'm Gabrielle Brown, running for school board, District 1. I'm proud to be born and raised in Key West and a daughter of a 3-term county commissioner, though I am not a politician. I'm a widow, a mother, a grandmother, and a single parent foster mother. I've been an accountant for over 20 years, mostly in the construction industry, focusing on contracts, budgets, and cost reduction, and specializing in setting up and fixing financial systems that meet the needs of individual businesses, also including nonprofits. And I'm on the board as treasurer of my church, and I volunteer my time every week as their bookkeeper. As a licensed Monroe County foster mother, I have extensive training in child development, especially with underprivileged and special needs children. My license is renewed annually and includes constant continued education. And as a foster parent, it shows that I don't just care, I just don't have care and concern for my own children and grandchildren, but for all the children of our community. I have been working very hard on the campaign trail, talking with Monroe County residents. They want someone to represent them that they can relate to. As a working class renter, I understand very well the struggles with living in paradise, and I'm ready to put my expertise and experience to work for the citizens of our community. Thank you for your support. Please vote for Gabrielle Brown on August 23rd. Thank you again.
Thank you, Gabrielle. All right, now we're almost done. We're really rolling through this. State House Representatives, this is shaping up to be probably the race to watch this year. It's a partisan race, so we'll have a primary where the Democrats will pick their champion and the Republicans will pick theirs, and then they'll run off in the general. Let's start with the Republican primary. The incumbent is Jim Mooney, so we'll start with Jim. Come on up, Jim. So 3 minutes. This is our last event, so.
Thank you. And thank you for everybody turning out, because I think it's a very important part of the process. Regardless of how you think, you have to have people show up. So I'm a big believer in that. You know, I am a lifelong resident of the Florida Keys. I'm actually older than this college, because I came here in 1960 to play baseball and discovered they grew these guys 6'2" out of New York that could hit the ball a mile and run like a deer. I thought, well, that's not going to work. So off to the University of Miami, I ran to just be a student, or I got a degree in education. The bottom line is I've been representing this district for the last 2 sessions and 2 committee sessions. I have been very fortunate to have very good relationships with the stakeholders within this county, from the county level all the way down to the city level. And I think what's most important for this position is to understand the nuances of this district, and particularly Monroe County. The mainland is a beast of its own, and the issues there are totally different. But what matters here today is that if you don't understand the issues in Monroe County, you are not going to do well. And I understand these issues. I've lived here my entire life. I did 10 years of local government in Alamorada. I served twice as the mayor of Alamorada, last time being Hurricane Irma, where I was very proud to get Alamorada cleaned up faster than any other city in the county. That was very important to us. From there, I have now moved on to the House, where as of today, the last bill that governor has not signed, I've had 5 bills signed by the governor in 2 sessions. Bill 1499, which is the sheriff's bill, which will allow for workforce housing in the city of Key West, which was a partnership between Key West and the sheriff's office and Monroe County. That's very important. And if you don't understand these issues from the grassroots up, they're very difficult to get done. Tallahassee is a different beast. It doesn't work like local government. It's about relationships. I said 2 years ago when I was on this podium, I said I would foster relationships that Representative Rashein had developed over the course of her career up there. Holly was an amazing person, is still an amazing person in Tallahassee, and I followed her footsteps as best I can. But I've also developed my own character, my own me up there, and I have now officially gained the endorsements of Speaker Renner coming in, incoming Speaker Renner, followed by Speaker Dan Perez, followed by Speaker Sam Garrison, and now the CFO of the great state of Florida, Jimmy Padronis, has endorsed me. So with that, I would ask respectfully for your vote in August, because I will represent you with pride, with quality, and dignity. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Jim. Next up, we'll bring up Rhonda Redmond Lopez. Come on, Rhonda. We've met Rhonda before, and we're going to talk to her again.
Gosh, this reminds me of my cheerleading days at Alabama. Alrighty, first of all, I'd like to say I am so thankful, and we should all be very thankful and blessed to be in such a gorgeous city this evening and under this wonderful air conditioning in Key West. We all know that House District 120 is truly a paradise. From the sprawling, beautiful farms up in South Dade all the way to the seafoam down in the dry Tortugas. That's why I, Rhonda Lopez, I want to run for this office, because I want to make sure it stays that way. And I want to make sure that when we go to Tallahassee as representatives, that we bring back as much as we give. I want Tallahassee to stop overlooking the Keys. We are a donor county. Per capita, we spend more tax money than any other county in the state, but we don't get the return that we should be getting. Let's talk about the environment. I would want to pass all laws protecting our environment over these special interest groups such as the big corporation. There was this horrible bill Senate Bill 2508. You know what that bill was going to do? It was going to take our great Everglades water, and big corporations were going to take over that. And when that happens, that was going to drastically harm our Everglades. Well, the current House members and the Senate, they voted for it. Wonder why? Because of big special interest corporations. Guess what? Our wonderful governor, Ron DeSantis, he vetoed that bill. I will always advocate for our water, our seagrasses, and our wildlife. Let's talk about insurance. I know mine just doubled. You might be hearing some chatter that they called a special session and they're doing all these things up in Tallahassee to help our insurance rates, this, that, and the other. Well, they barely scratched the surface. Have you got your insurance bill lately? Did it look like it went down? It's not going down, it's gonna keep going up. And let me tell you why. We need tort reform. You know why? Because we are a donor, we are a state that pays so much into insurance. We don't even have that many claims here. Our claims are like 9% of the national average. And then we get sued and we have all these insurance lawsuits, 79%, a whopping 79% of lawsuits. Well, all those lawsuits get passed on, the cost of those lawsuits, to us. Well, guess what? Do you really think a bunch of lawyers that are state representatives, some of which endorse my opponent and their attorneys, do you think they want tort reform? I don't think so, but I do. And I just want you to know that I will never support a tax increase. I'm a small business owner, and that is not good for us. Let me say one more thing. Let's talk about key lime pie. Okay, the key lime pie is a big issue. Let me tell you, my opponents think that's a silly issue. Well, it's not a silly issue because tourism and restaurants employ over half of our economy here. And we love our key lime pie, and it drives the economy. It's about $10 a ton.
Thank you, Robert. All right, next up for the Republican nomination is Robert Allen. Come on, Robert.
My name is Robert Scott Allen. I am running for state rep in this district, and I don't have a lot to say tonight. I'm going to keep it very short. I let my platform do my speaking for me. I'm Robert Scott Allen, and I'm running for District 120. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Robert. All right, before I bring up the Democratic candidates, have I missed any race? Okay, well then, that's good. So we're going to do our last two. Huh? Oh, I choose the thing. For the Democratic primary State House of Representatives, 120, we'll bring up Daniel Horton Diaz first. Seen Daniel before?
Hey everyone, my name is Daniel Horton Diaz. Many of you know me as Dan. I am a proud husband, I am a proud dad, and I am a proud Democratic candidate for the State House in District 120 to represent Homestead all the way down to Key West up in Tallahassee. Now, a lot of you guys have seen me speak before. You know I've done this a few times. When you've done this a few times, sometimes you have to take a step back and think about why you're doing it. And I believe in helping people. It's what drives me. I grew up in a family that needed help. The community was there for my family to make sure that we had a roof over our heads, food on our table, a car to drive to work, to get to school. And so I've been there, and I've always felt my entire life like I owed a debt to society that I had to repay in honor of the gratitude that I have for people that are willing to put themselves out there for others. And I have had a tremendous experience running for office in the past. I've had the opportunity to work in the state senate for State Senator Annette Taddeo. I was able to become the district chief of staff to former Congresswoman Debbie Mukersel Powell. And I know that above everything, when you get into office and you truly care about others, you can make tremendous differences in people's lives. And you can do that a couple of ways. First off, of course, you have sessions 2 to 3 months up in Tallahassee. And I believe that in order to help people and to help this community best, I'm going to go up there and vote to support the issues that will benefit this community and uphold democratic values. When I go up to Tallahassee, you can count on me to vote to support a woman's right to make her own choice about her life and about her body. You can count on me to go up to Tallahassee and vote to protect our brothers, sisters, and neighbors in the LGBTQ community at home, at work, and at school, and every other place that they are part of our community. You can count on me to pass and to vote for smart gun laws that will actually address gun violence, to address the affordable housing crisis that has been going on since the first time I ran back in 2016, and it's only gotten worse. You can count on me to go up to Tallahassee and vote to give local governments control over local problems instead of letting Tallahassee put their iron fist on the neck of this community. Now that's in Tallahassee, right? But once session's over, that's when you really start to make an impact in people's lives. And I know that from working in the state legislature and working in Congress, because when people call your office because they have a problem, they are at the last possible hope of help. No one calls their congressperson or their state representative unless they are in desperate need. And I've had the opportunity working in those offices to make a tremendous difference in people's lives, and I'm incredibly proud of that. So you can count on me, just like you have been able to for the past 6 years. I see you, Todd. You can count on me to be present in this community. You can count on me to be engaged in this community, and you can count on me to listen. You send me an email, my office an email, we're going to get back to you. You call me, we're going to get back to you. You see me on the street, you better give me a hug. If you don't, I'm going to remember, I'm going to be angry. Daniel Horton Diaz, you all know me as Dan. I hope to represent you in Tallahassee as your state representative, and I thank you for your support.
Before I bring up Adam, I want to just do a few thank yous. You can start making your way up slowly. Thank you to Tennessee Williams and our Tip Your Bartender. This was good, great venue. And I think as maybe Rhonda was saying, up until a couple of years ago, we did this outside. I forgot how horrible. I would just be ripping in sweat. But thank you, Carol Schreck, who's our executive director. She's not here. And thanks for everybody that helps. And thank you all for coming. And with that, he's such a dynamic speaker, that's why I'm using him as my hook. So come on, Adam. Sorry, that was biased.
Hi, everybody. So my name is Adam Gentle. I'm a Democrat, and I am running for Florida House 120, which includes all of us here in the Florida Keys and extends up into the Homestead area. I don't consider myself a politician. I got into this race as a public servant after January 6th, when we all saw our Capitol attacked, and we saw our democracy suddenly seem very, very fragile. I felt that it was our time to do something, that if we didn't stand up now, I didn't know who was going to do it, and I didn't know when they were going to do it, and I felt that perhaps that vote that I had cast for Joe Biden the November prior could possibly be the last vote I cast in a Democratic election in my lifetime. Boo all you want. Now, before going into public service, I worked as a lawyer investigating corruption.
Now you can boo.
Yeah, exactly. Investigating corruption in companies that do business with governments where there's bribery and kickbacks. I would go in, solve those problems, and put policies and procedures in place to make sure they didn't happen again. And if there's one thing we can agree on in this room, I think we can all agree that we have a corruption problem in the state of Florida. That corruption problem in the state of Florida is the reason that our legislature and our governor can't seem to focus on the economic needs of all of us sitting in this room. Today, our governor could lower the price of gas by 25 cents, but he's choosing not to. He's not going to do it until October. Why? Politics. Corruption. A game. This is the reason that our government hasn't been able to focus on the housing crisis or property insurance rates. This is the reason that our government failed to fund AHEC, funding for our children, the most valuable people on Earth. So instead what they do is they attack vulnerable communities, the LGBTQ community. They attack a woman's right to reproductive health, the sanctity of her body, the autonomy of her body. I can think of nothing more disgusting than the idea of some politician up in Tallahassee thinking they have the right to sit in a doctor's office with a woman and her doctor when they're making one of the most important decisions she will ever make in her life. It's also disappointing to see our government attack the right to vote rather than expand the right to vote, because it's my belief that the role of government is to make it as easy as possible for as many people to vote as possible in every single election. I'm on my way out now. My name is Adam Gentle, Democrat for Florida House, District 120. Hope to talk to you soon.
Thank you, Adam. You know, something interesting tonight. It seems like we have a pretty good split of Democrats and Republicans in the audience, all equally enthusiastic. So, thank you all for coming. Remember, we had the room for another couple hours, so stick around, talk to your elected officials. If you look around the fringe of this room, I see the county attorney was here. You've got the tax collector. Yeah, they're here. There's all kinds of people. Property appraiser, talk to them. Use this time, get a drink.